Snow Bark Sprout Meadow. The dust tasted of centuries, of pharaohs and forgotten gods. I, Snow Meadow, though most of the keepers here call me Bark Sprout, adjusted my linen headscarf, a futile attempt to ward off the desert glare. It wasn't the heat that bothered me, not really. It was the weight of expectation. Old Man Tiber, the zoo director, had tasked me with something unusual. He'd received a shipment, a very old shipment, from an archaeological dig in the Valley of the Kings. A baboon, supposedly mummified and then reawakened. Not entirely, mind you. Just stirring. And now, it was my responsibility to care for it. Its name, according to the hieroglyphs on the sarcophagus, was Kahina. A sacred baboon, dedicated to the god Thoth. She wasn't like the other primates. There was a stillness to her, an ancient wisdom in her dark eyes. She didn't screech or chatter like the macaques. She just watched. Tiber insisted it was residual preservation fluids affecting her temperament, but I saw something else. Something knowing. I offered her a date, a favorite treat of the desert baboons, and she accepted it with a delicate, almost regal gesture. It felt less like feeding an animal, and more like making an offering. The other keepers dismissed my observations, of course. Just a baboon, Bark Sprout, they'd say, with a condescending chuckle. But Kahina, she started responding to my voice. Not with vocalizations, but with subtle shifts in her gaze, a slight tilting of her head. I began to read to her, ancient Egyptian myths, translated into English. The story of Isis and Osiris, the journey of Ra across the sky. As I read, I noticed something remarkable. Faint, golden symbols would appear on her fur, glowing faintly before fading away. Hieroglyphs, mirroring the stories I was telling. Tiber, observing this, grew increasingly agitated. He saw a scientific anomaly, a fascinating case study. He wanted tests, probes, explanations. I argued against it. This wasn't a specimen, it was a link. A connection to a time long past. One evening, while reading the tale of Anubis, Kahina suddenly rose to her feet. She extended a trembling hand towards a blank wall, and the golden symbols flared, coalescing into a full, vibrant mural depicting the weighing of the heart. It was breathtaking, terrifying, and undeniably magical. Tiber, witnessing this, finally understood. He didn't understand how, but he understood that this wasn't about science anymore. It was about respect. About recognizing something beyond our comprehension. He ordered the enclosure modified, decorated with replicas of ancient Egyptian art. Kahina thrived. She became a beacon, a living artifact drawing visitors from around the world. I continued to read to her, sharing the stories of her ancestors, and watching as the golden hieroglyphs danced across her fur, a testament to the enduring power of myth and the ancient heart beating within a baboon named Kahina. And me? I was just Bark Sprout, a zookeeper, privileged enough to witness a miracle.